Happiness Matters.
Hello everyone, can everybody hear me? Before I start, I want everybody to stand up, have some energy. There's a reason for this. We want to get our brains going. Be excited about your life because you have value and you have worth, okay? Be excited, be happy. That's what we are about, all right? So let's move. Root yourself on. If we don't cheer ourselves on, who will cheer us on? So cheer our lives on. Can we cheer? Cheer. I have an amazing life. I have an amazing life. My happiness matters. My value matters. My worth matters. I can do anything I put my mind and heart behind. Right? And I know all of you are probably tired. Right? It's been a long day. There are a lot of people here. So I'm Shannon Horton from Happiness Matters. Unfortunately, Sherry couldn't be here today. I'm going to give a little mini workshop on happiness and your values and how they are related. So does everybody know that the CDC predicts by 2020 that depression is going to outpass cancer for the second leading cause of disability worldwide, people, worldwide. We have an epidemic on our hands that depression is going to be the second cause of disability worldwide. Do you see why we need some happiness? We need to teach people how to be happy. We need to teach it in our schools. We need to teach it at home. We need to teach it at work. And we for sure need to teach it in the government because we are going down. All right? So, what matters is how we think. Our thoughts create our reality. Our external world that we are experiencing and participating in is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of us. So if your external world isn't kind of going the way you want it, we want to look inside here. What's here and what's here. Because that subconscious beliefs and conscious beliefs are creating your reality by how you act and react, participate, the words you say, the words you think, how you interact with people, how you perceive situations. That's what's going on. That's why your life isn't achieving where you want to be sometimes, is because of limiting beliefs, the unhealthy, toxic thoughts. So when thought is combined with emotion, it's very powerful. The mind is, the subconscious mind actually is 1,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. Did anybody know that? Okay, very good. So with that, our subconscious beliefs are always coming out in our reactions, in our state of being. We can say, yes, be happy, but if our subconscious is saying, no, I'm not happy, guess what's going to win 95% of the time? Your subconscious. So we have to start correcting that by seeing the world a little differently, and it's habits. It's habits. Paying attention to what you're thinking and saying, is that really true? How can I see this differently? So Joe Vitale says that it isn't what happens that matters, it's the meaning that we give it that matters, right? So if we give something an unhealthy meaning, it's going to trigger negative neuropathways and a negative state of being. Your state of being is your thoughts that trigger emotional reactions. And that gives you that being, how you feel. Okay? So did you know that it takes less than 30 seconds to develop a new neuropathway in the brain? So that means if you think of a negative thought for less than 30 seconds, that's all it takes, you're building a new negative neuropathway in your brain. Who wants to do that? I don't. So it also takes 4 positive thoughts to counteract just one negative thought. That's how powerful those negative thoughts are. And we can start by saying, you know what, this isn't working for me. They say what the definition of insanity is, doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result. Well, if your thinking is not getting you results, then we have to change that. And your thinking, it helps your action in the world, right? So if you change your thinking, you might take a little more risk. Living on the edge of risk is what gets you there and take a hold of opportunities instead of living in a comfort zone. Comfort zones keep us in the same old, but we don't grow. It's out of fear. In order to grow, we have to live on a healthy level of risk every day. And say, you know what, I'm gonna face this fear today. I really am, and I'm gonna do it. So it's either coming from really basically a loving thought, coming from love, or coming from fear. And fear acts the same way in the body as anger, it acts the same way as anxiety, it acts as the same as hate. All that, it's the same fight or flight response in the body, which I am telling over years and years and years of this fearful, worrying thinking is destroying your health and well-being. It is actually putting toxic hormones in your body all the time that are deteriorating your organs. So you rather have more serotonin and dopamine going through your brain and your body because those are the happy chemicals, okay? So and how do we do that? Well, we start controlling our thoughts and we start having our actions meet those thoughts and our words meet those thoughts in the external world. So I want to give you a little bit of insight about happiness. Did you know that people who are happier actually are 3 times more creative than others who are unhappy? They are more productive. They are sick less. There are numerous studies that show why certain people get sick and others don't. It's based on emotional state. Our body responds to that emotional state. How many of you have experienced a cold or an illness right after a fight with a significant other? You want to know why? Because your body experienced that emotion and it reduced your immune system, your immunity, and you got sick. And in Chinese medicine, grief and sadness relate to the lung and large intestine. Well, a cold, which is grief and sadness because there was disharmony in your relationship, or a regret that you said some things you didn't really want to say, but we said them out of reaction, normal behavioral reaction that we were learned or taught to cope. That's why. So people who are happy are sick less. Their immune systems are really fortified, okay? Also, happiness increases your energy level up by 31%. 31%. You're more focused. You make better financial decisions. You make better decisions all around in your life. It also decreases your chance for depression by 31%. It reduces fatigue-related symptoms such as chronic pain and headaches by 30%. This is huge, huge. And since we're facing an epidemic right now in the world that depression is going to be the second leading cause of disability by 2020, we have to change. We have to change inside. So there's a little worksheet, and my friend, a good friend, and one of my happiness facilitators at Happiness Matters, she's going to pass those out. This is why I created Happiness Matters. We provide wellness workshops to schools, organizations, and businesses, teaching people mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being to help change the workplace culture to be healthy versus toxic. We teach people how to cope and change their thinking around scenarios and people so that we can all get along, because we're all in the same boat, right? We don't need to be mean to each other. We don't need to project blame on each other. We have to take responsibility for our lives and what we put out there. This is very important. It will make our lives so much happier and so much, like joyous, full of opportunity, full of like possibility. That's the word, possibility. So Mahatma Gandhi said that happiness is when your thoughts, your actions, and your words are all in alignment. And that's so true. If we're not speaking what we're thinking, people can feel that in our energy. We're all connected, okay? People know when our energy is saying one thing and our words are saying another. And this is important for children because we're teaching children to lie. when we're not being honest to them about what we're feeling as parents, we're teaching them to lie because they're confused. Like, okay, I'm feeling this weird energy. Mommy's sad, but she's saying she's happy. Does that make sense? So how can we be more honest and start teaching our children that it's okay that a parent's sad or stressed? We reassure them, at least your words are matching your energy and they're not learning to lie and hide their truth, right? They learn that from us, okay? So a little bit of wisdom on the brain. I want to give you a little wisdom before we go into the worksheet. The brain does not know if a memory or an actual experience is happening. Like it can't differentiate between the two. So anytime you think of a memory, especially a toxic memory or traumatizing memory, the brain and the body are experiencing it as if it's reliving it right here, right now. Okay? Second, the brain cannot differentiate the thoughts that are going out towards another person or the thoughts about ourselves. Which means we experience all those thoughts in our body. Okay, so the toxic thoughts create negative, unhealthy hormones that are really for when we're out there running from danger for a short period of time to go through our body. And we're in a state of being here in the world because we have all these pressures: education, finances, work, family, what do I want to be? We get stuck in these loops and these pressures, and we have this constant fight or flight in our system, which is very damaging to our health. Very, very damaging in our immune system. And it makes us not want to wake up every day and, oh, I gotta go to work, right? We want to live, we want to thrive. And it starts here, okay? So, with that, we have a values exercise. Values are very important. Sometimes we don't even know what our top 3 values are, and we should be living our lives, making our decisions based on those values. We will find out here today if we're living our real values or if we're living our parents' or someone else's values. So I want you to take a moment right now to circle your top 9 values. Just don't think too hard about it. Circle your top 9 values. And if you need a pen, or there's some pens here. I want you to cross off 3 and leaving your top 6. I know it's painful. People don't like this. They give me the frowny face when I ask them to do that. So cross off the 3 least important out of those 9. Do just 3 out of those 9? Yeah, I know. Guess what? I'm going to ask you to cross off 3 more. Cross off 3 more. So you're left with 3. And those 3 are your top 3 values you should be making your life's decisions based upon. I'm sorry? You can't? can you combine, some people tend to combine values under other values. Like, okay, if I think of family, can I combine a couple of those values under family? Does that make sense? So think about it. But it's really important to try to get to your 3 top values, because that's where our core decisions will be coming from, okay? I know it's difficult. It's very difficult. But it will benefit you in so many ways. It doesn't mean that you don't honor these 9 values. This is how you live your life. But you want to go towards those 3 values in the beginning when you make a decision. Oh, you know, it doesn't... Yes, it's okay. So when you make that logical, yeah, I'm wise enough. I don't need to, you know, I live that every day, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so try to find your reasoning to narrow it down. Has everybody narrowed them down to 3 values? I want you to look at those values, and I want you to honestly say to yourself, are you living your decisions based off of those values, or are you living it against your parents, your grandparents, your school system, your community, your boss? How many found out that they're not really living their values? Your values. Okay, some of you. Is that going to change now? Are you going to live your life for you and what's important to you? Because that's the key to happiness. And that is going to open miracles and doors and opportunities for you, because you are living your truth, your value, your worth, that you're here to do something. And I'm telling you, each one of you here today, every person in this building has something of value to give this world. And we're here to help each other do it. We're here to inspire each other. We're here to encourage each other. We're here to be cheerleaders for each other, most importantly, ourselves. What gives us value is not what other people say about us. What gives us value and happiness is what we feel and think about ourselves. And it's time to start loving ourselves a little more, right? Time to start being our best friend and our biggest cheerleader and our biggest, like, yes, I'm doing this. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back anymore. Because another thing to look at too, when you're living these values, are you going to regret not making a decision? Are you going to regret not taking an opportunity? If so, take a leap of faith and have God's going, you know, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to guide you to landing, okay? It may take you to great heights you would never imagine if you didn't take that step off, okay? It's very important. So, I want to talk about smiling. And before I want everybody to know too, before I go into that we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. And for most people, 80% of those are negative. They're unhealthy, they're toxic. That's sad. So I understand now why we have an epidemic in the world of unhappiness and depression. So smiling. We are all connected by these wonderful things they call in science mirror neurons in the brain. It's a Wi-Fi system for humans. We're all energy, right? So we're all connected. How many of you walked into a room and you were all happy and bubbly, and all of a sudden you walk into a room like, I'm anxious, I'm scared, I'm angry, I'm confused? That's because we're all picking up on everybody's energy in that room empathically through the Wi-Fi system in our brains, okay? So the key is not let that Wi-Fi system be overrun by everybody else's stuff. We want to stop and ask, is this mine? Is it really mine? And I'm choosing to stay in my positive state, okay? That's very important, because the more you hold on to your positive state, the more you make positive changes in your thinking and your behavior, the people around you will start as well, because remember, we're Wi-Fi connected. That's the beauty of it. And it also goes the other way. The more you're around unhealthy people, the more it might affect your unhealthiness, right? Environment is stronger than will. That's something to remember. So surround yourself with like-minded people people that will root you on. They're going to be there to pick you up and encourage you to keep going, okay? Because sometimes our family and friends, sometimes the closest people to us do not understand us. They do not understand our dreams. They do not understand our intuition. And we look at us, I gotta do this. And they're like, oh, they're cautious because they don't want us to fall. They don't want us to hurt. But they don't realize that they're actually, by doing that, hindering us. If we allow them, they're hindering us to live our dreams and who we are. Okay? So let's go to smiling.
We're pleased to welcome to the seminar stage, Chaos to Clarity, presented by Shabbat Moran.
Releases dopamine. Okay? So as soon as you smile, you release dopamine in your brain. As soon as you see someone else smile, you get dopamine released as well. So smiling. I have a lifelong piece of homework for you. I want you every day to intentionally smile at 3 people every day for the rest of your life. Okay? Yes, every day for the rest of your life. Because you never know how that smile is going to change someone's life. How that smile may be the only smile they ever get for that day. And it may have prevented them from having suicide. It may prevent them from going home and being angry. It may prevent them from having a really crappy day at work. All right? It actually may have given them encouragement to quit a job that was no longer good for them. Okay? So remember, by smiling and looking at that person, you're giving them hope and happiness because you're helping them release dopamine in their brains. So before I wrap up, I want you to know that we ourselves have to be the change we want to see in the world. We have to start inside ourselves to be that change that we want to see in our little bubble. And therefore, it ripple effects out into the world. It pays it forward. And as you get bigger and stronger in your happiness and your well-being, you're going to enhance others. And it's just you're going to see this network grow around you, and it's amazing. I thank you for sitting here and listening and struggling a little bit, maybe with your values exercise. Come see me. I have a booth down the 1200 row, and I'm Happiness Shannon from Happiness Matters. Thank you.